All right, other big news from this week. The coaching carousel has begun to spin. Wow, this has been in the talks for a while. Jimbo Fisher, the era at Texas A&M is finally done. My goodness, hire his agent immediately if you're out there. Boy, oh boy, is that guy getting a payday to not coach. Clearly, his era was nothing better than Kevin Sumlin's era. The only thing that he has to say is that year they finished just outside of the top four, that COVID year. It looked like that might be the year where they would kind of launch off of that, but instead they regressed and they actually went below 500 last season. I don't know why they wait another year to fire him. Keep him around this year and then fire him after they blow out Mississippi State. The timing of it, very strange to me. But it just seems like they were like, hey, enough is enough. I don't know why he made it through last year, and then you bring him around this year to have just another mediocre year above 500, but still just kind of more of the same of what the whole Jimbo Fisher era has been. One crazy thing that I've got to point out about this, and shout out to Darren Rovell on X. This was his tweet. Jimbo Fisher's first paid coaching job was in 1991 at Samford University. Go Bulldogs. Shout out to the great people at Samford. And you know what he got paid? $20,000 to be the OC at Samford. First coaching job, first paid gig. And then $26,301. Remember that number, because here's why. That's what Jimbo Fisher will get paid per day over the next 8 years to not coach at Texas A&M. $26,000 plus a day to not coach. Wow. I mean, absolute robbery what Jimbo Fisher did to the good people at Texas A&M. Aggies fans, I'm sorry. It's tough days to be an Aggie fan, but the future's got to be brighter. There's a lot of good coaches out there. At first, I was kind of like, who's out there? But then you kind of remember, man, coaches get poached all the time. And there's a lot of good coaches out there that Texas A&M, they got the big bucks. They're willing to pay and shell out some money. So I think there's a lot of coaches that they'd love to see. And one of the interesting names that came up was Coach Prime, Deion Sanders to the SEC. That would be crazy. Could you imagine with the SEC expanding next year, Texas and Oklahoma joining, and Deion Sanders gets thrown in the mix? My goodness. Of course, people are bringing up Dan Lanning and Oregon's just having a great year. There's no way I think Dan Lanning would jump ship at this point. Oregon's a playoff contender, could find themselves in there, and could be playing for the chip. So I don't see Dan Lanning leaving unless it's after the season. But even then, I still don't see him leaving. I think he's got a great thing going at Oregon. But of course, we have seen crazier things happen.